Welcome to Breakout session number 38. This is demystifying chord extensions. So if 2 is a 9 and 4 is an 11 and 6 is a 13, is that like new math? And another question, what's the difference between a C9, a C add 9, a C suspended, 2, a C sus 2, C sus 4, C/G? Well, I'm going to answer all those questions in just a minute. But first I want to say hello to all the members of the Guitar League out there. And I want to let you know that I've got a new video series that I'm going to be doing where we're going to learn a new song in 4 minutes or less. It's probably going to be like 4 chord songs, 4 chords or less, and we're going to learn it in 4 minutes or less. So I'm going to put those videos out probably weekly, and you won't get an email notification on that. So I ask, if you want to see those guys, please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell, and we'll let you know when they're coming out. But if you've got if you got 4 minutes a week to learn a new song, this is, I think, going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so and the materials for this particular breakout session are going to be down in the description. So to answer the question about 2 being a 9 and a 4 being a 11 and a 6 being a 13, and also the difference in between all the add 9 chords and the 9 chords and the suspended chords, first we have to break down how chords are made. So let me get my whiteboard here and I will show you how that's all done. Okay, here we are in Studio B. We're going to take a simple C scale in 2 octaves, and we're going to count it up. So a C scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, like in 2 octaves, okay? And then we're going to number them continuously rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, you know, an octave higher on the C. We're going to continue numbering them 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Then we're going to build chords by stacking thirds. So what I mean by that is we are going to every other number. So a C chord is a C, E, and a G, right? So 1, 3, and a 5. It's not easy to do this, by the way. It's a little scribbly. And so another third then would be 7. Okay, so we're stacking thirds. So C, E, G, B that would actually be a C major 7 if you played all those notes. Now we're going to continue stacking every other one. So we're going to come up here, we're going to skip the C, and we're going to go to D. And now we see that D is a 9. And we're going to go to F. And now we see that that is an 11. And we're going to go to A, and we see that that is now a 13. Where it would have been like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the confusion there. So that's how you build a chord, and that's how you get chord extensions. Now let's get our guitars and go back, and I'll show you how this works. Now, we're back from the whiteboard. Now we're going to get your guitars out because we are going to do some chords. Now that you learned about stacking thirds, we're just going to take a few of these chords. We know the standard C chord, which is a 1, a 3, and a 5. Okay, so if you add a 1, 3, 5, and a 7 to it, you have a major, C major 7. The 7 being the B. Okay. If you add a flat 7 to a C chord, now you have a C dominant 7. You've stacked these, you're stacking them up now, right, in thirds. Okay, now you got to keep those thirds that you just stacked, the 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. And now you're going to add a D to that, which is the 9. So now you have a D9. Okay, if you throw in an A on top of that, it's a C13, so that can add a little funk to it. But that would be a C13, is all the chords of a C, I mean all the notes of a C9 chord, and then stack a 13 on top of that, okay? All right, so a C add 9 is different. It's very simple. It's a C chord, and you're just adding the 9, and you're not adding, so it's a 1, 3, 5, and a 9. You don't have a 7 in there. So you've just added a 9 to a C chord. C add 9. A C suspended chord, let's say a C sus2, now you're going to add a note from the first octave. So C, the second note in a C scale would be a D. So now you're going to lift your finger up off a C chord. That would be a sus2, because you're playing the second note of that scale along with the chord. If you wanted to do a C sus4, you would add the F, which would be the fourth note in the first octave to a C chord, and now you have a sus4. Okay? Now slash chords have nothing to do with Guns N' Roses. Okay, so you see a C/G. It simply means that the note after the slash you put in the bass of the chord. So a C/G chord would be that beautiful C chord with a G in the bass. That's pretty simple. Okay, so some common slash chords are C with a G in the bass, a D with an F in the bass. Sometimes people play it like this. Okay, a C with a D with an F in the bass, an A minor with a G in the bass. So there's a G up here and an A minor. An F with a C in the bass, that's one of my favorite chords. Where you're playing an F chord and then you're adding the C above it. Okay, and of course you can suspend those chords too. And then a G with a B in the bass. This is pretty popular. So you don't play the G note in the bass. You start with a B. So this finger's not touching, okay? So you got a G with a B in the bass. And if you brought that down to a B flat, that same chord would be like a B minor with a B flat in the bass. And that chord's used a lot too. And a lot of these slash chords are used in songs like Needle and the Damage Done. Neil Young's. And he uses a lot of those C suspended chords in that too. But I picked a song today that has just about every one of these chords that we talked about in it today. And you're going to be able to play it. It's in your materials. This song is I Can't Find My Way Home by Stevie Winwood. And they did this with Blind Faith, with Eric Clapton was with them. Stevie does this in a drop D, okay? I rearranged this a little bit so it would have more of the chords that we've been talking about today. So I'm just going to go through it one time with the chords. So it starts with like a C9, or technically he lifts his finger off of the E note of a C9. First he walks into that from a, so A, B, C. Then he's going to walk that right down with a G with a B in the bass, a G minor with a B flat in the bass, to a D chord. Then I added those chords that we learned in an episode or so ago when we were F major 7 chords. So we do the F major 7 chord, we bring it up 2 frets and it's a G6 chord, and we go back to the D. So that's the first part of the song. Then, after he goes through that 2 times, he does this G with a B in the bass. We're going to do an A7, and then we're going to do a sus4 of that, or 2, to a D. Then we're going to do an E minor, a G, and we're going to walk that to an F sharp, to an E, to an F sharp, to a D. So the chorus is like, feel wasted, but I can't find my way. So I played that a little bit on the intro so you can follow. You've got the music now. We're not going to learn the entire rhythm and everything, but if you follow along with the song and you now know those different chords, I think you can have fun with that. And we'll have a test on that next week, see how you did. No, just kidding. So now on the music, I have capo 5 because that's where I play it. If you're trying to sing that song, he sings really, really high. If you're trying to sing that song, you might have to put a capo on somewhere. You can put it anywhere you want. But to learn the chord fingering and the walk downs and stuff, you don't need a capo for that. So give that a try and think about stacking the notes in a chord, and that's how you get those 9s and sus chords and stuff. It's pretty simple. Where I was confused was, if you count from 1 through 7, and then you started counting again in the second octave, 1 through 7 again, and you're trying to figure out what's a 9 and what's a 13 and what's an 11. But it's simpler if you count the first 2 octaves, just continually count up to 14, and then you're going to start all over again with the 3rd octave. So I hope these tips help you. Look forward now. Please subscribe. I want you to look forward to my weekly 4 chords in 4 minutes, to learn a new song. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And these are simple. I'm going to give you the campfire versions of these songs. So you should be able to, go through this with me and go to a campfire and play the song. So have fun out there. Be safe. Talk to you later. Bye.